Brilliance Audio presents the unabridged recording of EVERLOST by Neal Shusterman, narrated by Nick Podell.
For my aunt, Mildred Altman, who taught me a love of books and reading. Part 1. Afterlights. Chapter 1. On the Way to the Light. On a hairpin turn above the dead forest, on no day in particular, a white Toyota crashed into a black Mercedes, for a moment blending into a blur of gray. In the front passenger seat of the Toyota sat Alexandra, Allie to her friends. She was arguing with her father about how loud the radio should be playing. She had just taken off her seatbelt to adjust her blouse. In the center back seat of the Mercedes, dressed for his cousin's wedding, sat Nick, trying to eat a chocolate bar that had been sitting in his pocket for most of the day. His brother and sister, who sandwiched him on either side, kept intentionally jostling his elbows, which caused the molten chocolate to smear all over his face. As it was a car meant for 4, and there were 5 passengers, there was no seatbelt for Nick. Also on the road was a small piece of sharp steel, dropped by a scrap metal truck that had been loaded to the brim. About a dozen cars had avoided it, but the Mercedes wasn't so lucky. It ran over the metal and the front left tire blew, and Nick's father lost control of the car. As the Mercedes careened over the double yellow line into oncoming traffic, both Allie and Nick looked up and saw the other's car moving closer very quickly. Their lives didn't quite flash before them. There was no time. It all happened so fast that neither of them thought or felt much of anything. The impact launched them forward. They both felt the punch of inflating airbags, but at such a high speed and with no seatbelts, the airbags did little to slow their momentum. They felt the windshields against their foreheads, then in an instant, they had each passed through. The crash of splintering glass became the sound of a rushing wind, and the world went very dark. Allie didn't know what to make of all of this quite yet. As the windshield fell behind her, she felt herself moving through a tunnel, picking up speed, accelerating as the wind grew stronger. There was a point of light at the end of the tunnel, getting larger and brighter as she got closer, and there came a feeling in her heart of calm amazement she could not describe. But on the way to the light, she hit something that sent her flying off course. She grabbed at it, it grunted, and for an instant she was aware that it was someone else she had bumped, someone about her size, and who smelled distinctly of chocolate. Both Allie and Nick went spinning wildly, crashing out of the blacker-than-black walls of the tunnel, and as they flew off course, the light before them disappeared. They hit the ground hard, and the exhaustion of their flight overcame them. Their sleep was dreamless, as it would be for a long, long time.